Thanks for joining us for a quick introduction into NetSuite SuiteSuccess. We'll be going through the Starter Edition, which is a solution designed to help small and rapidly growing companies manage all aspects of their business using a single system. Of course, I'm Nigel, one of the business development managers here at J-Curve Solutions, and joining me I have Michael, who is our team leader for our outbound marketing team. He specialises in finding great opportunities out there in the market. Michael, how are you today? I'm
great, thanks, Nigel. I'm excited to obviously showcase SuiteSuccess Starter because it has been one of our most popular additions over the past few months. So it's probably topical and a good time to discuss it. Yep, so just a little bit about ourselves. As you can see, we're NetSuite's largest partner globally, with the most number of customers of any NetSuite partner in the world. And we've got over 600 current ERP clients.
So look, at a high level, I guess we're hoping that you get an understanding of how you can manage your business more effectively through leveraging the leading practices that NetSuite has gleaned from over 40,000 businesses that currently use NetSuite. Using the business intelligence derived from purpose-built dashboards which contain all the information required to do your job, and through the successful implementation of these key features, you should be able to improve the productivity and drive efficiencies of your business. So getting started, we'll just talk quickly about NetSuite. To use NetSuite in any business, it doesn't matter what device you're using, so we can work on any device, anytime, anywhere. To log into NetSuite, you just go, as you can see here, to the netsuite.com page, and there's a little login button over here which will get you to log into the solution. When I log into the system, which I'm doing now, you will notice that it is a role-based solution. So I've got all my roles over here. Now, generally, don't get confused by the amount of roles here. You'll only see one, possibly two roles if you're administrator, but those roles are just about permissions and allow people to see what they need to see or restrict people from using certain features of the solution. But what I might do, Michael, is if you'd like to walk us through this dashboard, that'd be fantastic, I reckon.
Yep. So if you want to jump onto, we'll start with the controller.
Controller board.
Yeah, the controller board, Nigel. Yep. So for SuiteSuccess Starter, as you can see here, there's six roles that come standard within the solution. The role that we're going to discuss first is the financial controller role. So the first thing to note on this role are three major, portals. We have the reminders on the top left, your suite access or shortcuts in the middle, and then your KPIs. So these KPIs are immediately specific to our financial controller role. So you can see metrics like your sales from this month versus last month, payables, receivables, expenses, and so on. You're able to quickly see how you're comparing with the previous month, as a total and through a percentage as well. What Nigel's doing now is just showing how easy it is to change, where you're measuring. So you can see he's changing from this month. You can change anything from this year, this week, or quarter. So it's very easy for you, the end user, to gain access to the information depending on it's a month, a year, or however you want to see it. Scrolling up to the top left, please. We've got your reminders. So reminders is essentially some of the day-to-day activities that you want to do once you're immediately logged in the morning. So I come in 8:30, 9, I look over and I see that I've got 2 credit cards to approve, 19 periods to close, and 2 bills to pay. And I'm just judging from that, I may be able to determine how much time I need to spend on it and so on. So all these shortcuts, and Nigel's just done that here, they're hyperlinked, so they're easily drillable. Nigel's just opened up the open invoices, so you can see the 19 open invoices that were available. In the suite access shortcuts, you have some of the daily statements that you may need to use. So, for example, for controller, your income statement, which Nigel has brought up, your balance sheet, and so on. You're able to, define by department. So you can see Nigel's just done that. And then finally, as well, you've got other metrics and graphs like your monthly receivables, then financials as well. There's further financials. And then just at the bottom as well, we have a cash projection as well. Yep, just there at the very, can you scroll down please, Nigel? Yep, so your weekly cash projections, you're able to see immediately your accounts receivable due, owed, and so on. Just now, do you want to talk about the subsidiary manager, Nigel?
Sure. Probably just to clarify a couple more things on the dashboard as well. Those reminders and things that you can see here can be quite smart. So let's say, for instance, you're a business who's got you know, a couple of customers out there, and one of those customers is buying 5% less off you month after month. So you can also put some quite intelligent things around the reminders, so you can actually have the information pop up when, you know, someone's not buying the right product or someone's buying less off you on a month-to-month basis. Let's say you're hiring things, you could have things in there like saying, hey, these are the hire notices that are due every week and so forth. And they can change, and we'll have a look at a few different dashboards later to have a look at those different ones. Probably also that's really key is this global search bar before I talk about the subsidiary navigator. So if I want to look a product up, or I want to look up a customer or anything like that at all, I can just come straight into here and I can find that product straight from my Google search bar or global search bar there. I guess probably one of the really good ones here is, imagine that I have a customer, and Murphy Inc. is the customer I'm going to pull up right now, and I want to get a real quick snapshot of what that customer is doing and what they're up to. I can just click on this dashboard here that you can see for Murphy Inc., and that'll take me to a customer dashboard, which will give me all the KPIs and all the relevant information that I want to know about that customer. So you can see I can quickly look at his sales for this year or whatever period is that I want to compare. I can see how long it takes him to pay his bills. I can see anything that's overdue. If you have cases or warranty and things like that, I can see any open cases or any open warranties. All that sort of information is quickly accessible through a dashboard. And as you saw, it took me only a couple of seconds. So a customer rings up, you can go straight to this while you're on the phone, and you can get all the information you need for that particular customer. Here's all the reports and so forth, you know, what they're buying, but this could also be what they're not buying, you know. It could be things what they've been buying off you recently, but they're buying less and less on a monthly basis. So really handy to be able to get to the one spot really quickly. I'm just going to go back to my home there. The last thing that we'll probably talk about on the main dashboard is this subsidiary navigator. So this will allow you to have as many businesses as you want, as long as they're Australian entities, within your one solution for NetSuite. And if you want to flick between, and right now I've got a US one there you can see, but the SuiteSuccess allows or is enabled for Australian businesses, one world businesses. You can have as many as you like. There is an additional cost if you wish to go outside of Australia, as we've got to add all your taxation and so forth. But anyway, so if I want to go from one business to another, I can just click on that business and all the information will change and all the currencies will change into those dollars. And I'm working directly into that business. If I want to go into all three of them or consolidate them, I can click the parent one here, which is in this case not even a real business. It's just a business we've created so we can consolidate the two of these. But that could be as complicated or as flat as you like, so you can have all the businesses all in there, very easily accessible for each one. I think now just moving on, because of the short one, we'll go into inventory, Michael. I might just go to an inventory manager's dashboard. And if you'd like to take us through the dashboard on an inventory manager, that'd be great.
Sure thing, Nigel. So the key thing I generally note when jumping between roles is that on the surface, it's quite similar in structure. Again, you have your reminders, your SuiteSuccess shortcuts, and your KPIs, but they're all role-based. So you'll see that the reminders, or just starting with reminders, you'll see that these are all inventory manager based. So orders to fulfill, orders to receive, pick, pack, and ship, as opposed to those financial metrics we had on the previous dashboard. So same idea here. Once you log in, start of your day, you're able to immediately see what you need to approve and process.
Just moving through, I'm just opening
it. No problem. Yep, and then KPIs as well, moving towards inventory base. So your total inventory by total and percent, orders, sales. Just an example, potentially maybe going to a busy period. It's important for you to track your inventory and see how you're progressing, because you may need to have $2 million worth of inventory versus 1.5 if you're coming into the Christmas period or something like that. Just alongside that, if you come down, there's your warehouse operations, and then some other metrics like top items by quantity sold, and then available to sell. So,
that available sell one is really, really good, because it allows your team, even if you put this on a salesperson's dashboard, it will allow the people that are there to actually see what you've got in your inventory, and you can actually just look at the pictures. So if you've got a lot of similar items, like I can't imagine how many different designs of earplugs people who sell earplugs have, but here you can at least see what they look like. And so if you've got to go pick them off a shelf or something, it's really nice to have those pictures in the one spot. Those pictures do come from, I'll just go into an inventory item. Did you have anything else you want to talk about on that dashboard?
No, that's all right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go to that inventory item, and you'll see that those pictures are coming from the actual item page. So this is your inventory item page, and you can see you can have your pictures and so forth there. So they'll pull through into websites or onto that front page where you can see it available to sell. Okay, so now let's talk about your products and what you're selling. So in this case, I'm talking about an inventory item, but whether it's a service or whatever else. So the first thing you notice, you've got your price levels down here. So I'm just going to put this into Australian dollars. Yes, we are multi-currency. We've got roughly 160 currencies around the world that we can sell in, and we have a foreign exchange rate that is updated every morning, although you can type over it if you've got something else going on. But you can see I've got my price levels down the left-hand side and my pack sizes across the top. So the matrix that's involved there is quite useful, but because what you do when you set up a customer is you set the customer up with a certain price level. So you might set up a customer with a 20% price level. So anytime you put this particular product in here, they're going to get these pricing across this line that you can see here. However, let's say you've got a customer that only buys, they buy MacBooks off you all the time, but they don't buy anything else. You might set that price up with an item price, and I'll just show on a customer again with Murphy Inc. So you can set that customer up with a certain price level for just that one product. So item pricing, and then you can set up you can set up everything else at normal pricing. So I'll just show you what I mean, because that probably sounds a little bit confusing. So on my customer record here, if I go down to my financial, you can see that the price level this guy set up with is a 20% discount. But down the bottom here, I've got group pricing and item pricing. So if I want to sell a particular product at a certain price, I can click on this item. Or if I want to sell a group of products, like let's say laptops, and he buys a MacBook or an Asus or whatever else, he gets a group pricing discount. So hopefully the pricing is strong enough for your business, and that'll hopefully work for you. Coming back to this inventory item price, we'll talk a bit about purchasing and inventory on this. So you can see here that I have the ability to order by days. So my preferred stock level is not just a min-max, which will often leave you over or understocked. Your preferred stock level will allow you to order up to the particular days that you'd like to hold. So as your demand increases for that product, your preferred stock level is also obviously going to increase, or if it decreases, will do the same thing. So I can auto-calculate my preferred stock level. I can auto-calculate the lead time, which is the time between a purchase order and when I receive that stock receive that item into stock, and I can auto-calculate that as well. But I can also put in seasonal demand, which will allow businesses who have, a big January or something because they're in alcohol, to really spike up the amount of stock they're holding over January. But if they also have a dead month, then that'll actually reduce their stock level. So don't have money tied up in stock that's not moving anywhere for the right period of time. These forms, by the way, are just forms, so you can put them any way you like. Under the related records tab for this particular inventory item, if I quickly want to find every purchase order, every item receipt or bill, I can do that. So I can just come down here and you can see all the different things that I can look at here. So if I just want to look at purchase orders for this particular item, I can do that. And then, by the way, it doesn't matter. This information's available on all the different records in the system. So it might not be an item. It could be a service that you offer. It could be anything, and you can see all these things quickly and easily. And it's very easily just to tick down there what you sort of want to look at. I think now maybe we talk about the customer and CRM
Sure.
and so forth. Would you like to do a bit on that? I think I've got a customer record open.
Great, sure. So yeah, I'd say probably the CRM is one of the most common aspects of the system that I use in my day-to-day role, or any sales rep or customer-facing internal staff would use on a day-to-day basis. So the first aspect of any customer record that you can probably talk about is the communication tab. So the communication tab is sort of twofold. It enables you to track all communication that you personally or your sales rep or internal staff are having with a client. So it's able to track the history of the client, what's happened, are we contacting them enough? But you're also able to sort of bring some accountability to, if you have a sales team or a group of sales reps or just a single sales rep, you're able to bring accountability because you can see whether or not they've called, whether or not they've set tasks. So you can see they can log their phone calls, they can log events if they're running events or going out on site, stuff like that. But it's also used by the reps or personnel themselves, as they can set future tasks for themselves, and they're able to. So, for example, you may have a staff person that manages 50 or so customers, right? Not really possible for someone to keep track of that in their head or on paper. It's not really the right way of doing things. So they're able to log new tasks, future tasks, and then on their individual personal dashboard, they're able to see today, day to day, what tasks they've got to do, who they've got to call, and so on. If you can jump into the sales tab as well, maybe, Nigel? Yep. You're able to see here, obviously, past transactions, what they've sold, who they, how much of it they did. So you're drilling down. You can drill down into, like, for example, sales orders, what this customer has bought, when they bought it, and the dollar value. So this is obviously, again, if you've got 50 or so customers, you would able to bring it up before a phone call or a meeting and see what they've purchased before and to what volumes they can sell them again to. From a sales manager or a business owner's perspective, the big thing here is that you're able to assign individual customers as well. So that on the top of this screen, you're able to you can assign particular sales rep. So Mike Daniels is the sales rep on this record. So any inbound inquiries will be funneled to him. If you have multiple competing sales reps, you're able to easily demarcate which customers are whose. But yeah, I think that's probably enough from me. Did you want to talk about anything else on this?
Oh, just also the fact that if you want to automate a lot of things within NetSuite, you can as well. So let's say, for instance, you want to send out an email every time someone buys a product off you or someone pays a bill or whatever else. This messages tab here would list everything that is automatically gone out from the system. So the messages tab is something that you want to set up based around an event. So in other words, someone pays an invoice, you want to say, hey, thank you, Mr. Customer, for sending that invoice. That information gets kept there, and you've got a record of all that sort of stuff there. If they if you want to send an email because you've picked something or packed something or shipped something, that email can be automatically triggered based on the fact that someone has got their item and moved the status from picked to packed to shipped, and all those messages can be in here. So you can keep your customers up to date automatically. You don't have to do it yourself. And I think that's something that people really like to do. The other thing that you've got, and I probably should show this, or I can show this on this customer, but even on this inventory tab here, on everything that I've got communication, but you'll notice there's this files tab. That files tab will allow you to store any files, any PDFs, videos, pictures, whatever you like, against any record in the system. So you can see here, I've got one here that allows me to open that straight up from here. So if you're selling liquids or you're selling, you're contracting to people and you want contracts, all that sort of stuff in there, they can be kept against the actual record of the item. You get a file cabinet with NetSuite, which you can, it's much like if you've ever seen C Drive and you've got all your folders, same sort of thing. So you can have all those files kept against all the records. So everything's easy to find. It's all in the one place, and it's a very complete system.
And so if you'd like to reach out to either Nigel or myself, we can run a more tailored demonstration, answer some more particular questions, and I suppose go from there. You can email at info@jcurve.com.au or call into the phone number below.
Guys, I wish you every success in the future, and we'll talk again soon.